Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm Mama Loves UGB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram as well. Welcome along to the Sunday morning briefing. It is Sunday the 18th of April. I always have to check, even though I've just literally looked, I always have to check. Sunday the 18th of April and it is FlossTube number 26. Welcome along, how is everybody doing this week? We've had a bit of better weather, it's been quite nice. So I'm filming really late on Saturday night actually. And we've been to the beach and I don't know whether I've got a little bit of sunburn, whether it was just windburn, but my cheeks feel like they're glowing. It's just been one of those days today. Really, we haven't really done that much. As I say, we went to the beach, spent this morning sorting out the laundry, because it dawned on me pretty much for the last 2 weeks we've been living out of either the dirty washing bin or the clean washing bin. So stuff's been going from the dirty washing bin, coming back upstairs, and we just pick it straight out of the clean washing bin. Nothing's really been making it into the wardrobes or the drawers. So we ended up doing all that today, just a little bit of life admin, you know, all that sort of stuff that needs doing. Work's been super busy, so we've started the assessments this week, so that all needs setting and marking. So far I haven't heard from the exam board that they're actually giving me any extra money this year for doing all this marking that they normally do. I don't think it's going to be forthcoming either, but by the time I finished I would have marked probably nearly 400 assessments. So yeah, I haven't done quite as much stitching this week as I would have liked to have done, and I think that's going to be the situation really till the end of May, until it's all done and dusted and sorted out. But that's what it is, that's what it needs to be doing. Right, I've got a few little things, and as I said, I've got my book here that I need to insult. Quick reminder, there won't be a FlossTube next week. We are going home, and yeah, I'm getting a haircut. I can't wait. Going home to see Mum, and actually Mum is then coming back to stay with us for a few weeks for yeah, for all sorts of reasons. Mainly we need a bit of help with childcare as well, but obviously who doesn't want their mum to come and stay for a little while. So really looking forward to that. So yeah, there won't be a FlossTube next week. As I said, we made pizza. I was going to tell you actually, pizza, favourite pizza topping. So I was thinking about this earlier while I was eating my pizza and thinking, was I going to tell you or not? And is it going to mark me out as weird? So you'll have to tell me whether you think I'm now in the weird end of the spectrum when it comes to pizza. It's got to have, as well as all the tomatoes and the cheese and all that, it's got to have mushrooms. It's got to have some kind of like chorizo or pepperoni. It's got to have pineapple, and it's also got to have anchovies on it. So you tell me whether that marks me out on the weird end of the spectrum for pizza. Yeah, it's a bit of a combination, but homemade pizza with all those 4 toppings on is just the business. Couple of little notices before we get started. First of all, I was contacted by a lady called Audrey, who is the Fancy Froggy on Instagram, and she mentioned that she'd got in touch with a couple of UK sort of floss tubers, just to mention that she's involved with an animal sanctuary or an animal rescue trust called Seventh Heaven Animal Rescue Trust, and they are looking for stamps as a way of raising money. So what I'll do is I'll put all of the details down in the box below, and if you save stamps or you can start saving stamps and you can get them to her, then I'm sure all the animals at the Seventh Heaven Animal Rescue will be very grateful for that. So if you can help, then fabulous. And then I just want to say a massive thank you to those of you who have contributed to my JustGiving page, whether that be just out of the goodness of your heart, whether that be because you've downloaded something that I've charted or designed, whatever the reason. And as I said, there's no compulsion to, but it's there if you think that you're able to. And so far, just in a week, there's £115 in that JustGiving account, which will obviously go straight over to Macmillan. Part of the reason I chose the JustGiving is because it means that you, if you are a UK taxpayer, are able to select the gift aid section, and also it means that the money's not coming to me. It's just going straight. I can give it straight to Macmillan without it sort of running through, having to run through my hands. So that's nice, and you know that in confidence you can give your money and it's going straight to Macmillan. Right, the other thing I was going to explain, just behind me you'll see it looks slightly different. We were asked at school if we would do a picture of a bookshelf of some books that we have in our home by the English department, and they do this every year, and they make a little slideshow of them, and then the students have to try and guess which teachers have put the photographs in. So it's books that we've enjoyed reading, or books that help them to kind of guess which teacher it is that's put it in. So in case you can't see, Famous Diamonds at the bottom, great book by Ian Balfour. I used to work for a jeweller for 7 or 8 years, and I really love jewellery, especially fine jewellery, and have a real interest in gemstones and gemology and things like that, so that's why that one's there. David Starkey, Henry. The Tudors are my absolute favourite. I just love the whole Tudor period, so that's why that one's there. David Jason, Dell of a Life. I think I've mentioned, where did I talk about it? Oh, I talked about it in my interview with Sunbury Stitches, that one of the places that I would like to go would be Nelson Mandela House, because Only Fools and Horses is my absolute favourite television programme of all time, and David Jason is an absolute god. David Attenborough, obviously from my background in biology and biology teaching, he is an absolute, again, another god of the natural world, and he is also the cover teacher of the year. When you need him to be, you can just put on a David Attenborough if you need one, and the kids love it. Adam Penson's biography. I used to work for Adam long time ago. He's a family friend, so he's on Countryfile if you don't know. Keith Richards. I love the Rolling Stones. Plus the head's a big Beatles fan, so I partly put that in there just to annoy him. The Crimson Petal and the White, my favourite book that I've ever read. Harry Potter, what else can you say? Billy Connolly, absolute genius of a man. I was lucky enough to see him in Bristol before he stopped performing. He'd still started with Parkinson's, but he was hilarious. He can spin a yarn, he can tell a tale, he is amazing. Darwin's Voyage of the Beagle, and then I put this one on top but you can't really see it. That would have been the absolute clue, Little Miss Bad. And I put in a couple of my sort of stitch pieces as well, because the students seem to know about my YouTube channel now. I had one Year 10 boy came in the other day and he said, Miss, we're just going to watch your YouTube channel for an hour. I'm like, why? You've got me live for an hour. Why do you want to watch my YouTube channel? I was like, I'll sit and stitch for an hour if you want me to. Yeah, they've been really good about it. Really, yeah, really nice about it. I only had one thing that happened actually, and I must have said in one of my videos about being 41 or something, and this comment suddenly appeared on one of my on the video that I said about being 41, and it was one of the kids. I knew it was one of the kids because it said, "Nah, you're not 41, you're 50. Get a life," like that. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, YouTube account created 42 minutes ago. That's approximately the start of lunchtime. So blocked that one. I've never ever had any trouble since. So I think a lot of them think it's quite funny. Right. After all that waffle, let's talk about some stitching. I have got one finish, one new start, and one sort of carrying on how things are going. Remind me to look at that book again before we finish. So let's have a look at my finish. So it probably won't be a surprise to you what my finish is after I rescued her from her extra 2 weeks in school. And it is Florence Piggin by Whilst Iris Naps Designs. So this is Florence Piggin, and she is stitched on 36 count platinum. Just put that back down, I need that again in a minute. 36 count platinum with sulky thread, and I'll tell you the colour in a minute. Now I'm sorry, I have not bothered an iron with this either. So there she is, Florence May Piggin, and I can't wait to get her framed. I love the fact that she's a long, thin, horizontal sampler. just love that. And as I said, it was a good idea that she spent a couple of weeks in school, because she's got 2 mistakes. She's got 3 alphabets and 2 mistakes. So there's a letter missing from the one, which one is it? This one here, the centre one. There's a letter missing from there, and then she's got a couple round the wrong way in this one. So we can only presume that she didn't have any kind of teacher looking over her. Otherwise, hopefully they would have spotted it, but you never know. So there's Florence May Piggin, and she is stitched on where is it? No, she is stitched with 1147, which is a sulky 12 weight thread, and this is a petite spool, and the petite spool has 50 yards or 50 metres, 46 metres 50 yards on it. Now I have emptied one spool, but I can't honestly attest to whether it was completely new when I first started it, so it is there or thereabouts for one spool of the petite on 36 count, and I absolutely love it, absolutely love it. And whilst I've got this piece of cloth, because this seems to be my habit at the moment, I finish one thing and then I immediately start something else on the next bit on the back. This I have had my eye on for quite a long time, and this is called the Frisian Eye Chart by Quiltify Designs, and I just think it's genius. I really do, because on the face of it you think, oh okay, it's a sampler or sampler style, you know, alphabet style, and then you look at it and you think, no, it's an eye chart. It's actually an eye chart. So the letters, obviously, as you can see, it's one alphabet, starts really big, gets smaller and smaller, and there is a set of numbers at the bottom. Now I'm stitching this with sulky again, 12 weight sulky, 36 count platinum, and I'm doing this one in black. I did toy with doing a different colour, but then I thought, no, just the classic black, let's just go classic black. So I have nearly finished the stitched part of the A, or the cross stitched part of the A. Now let me see if I can hold this up a bit closer, because the actual pattern there is amazing, and you can see I've got one more block to go to finish the A. Let's see if it'll focus in if I go a little bit. And each of the letters, sorry, I've got a habit of putting things down and then needing to pick them directly back up again. Each of the letters has got a slightly different patternation in the stitching. And then, I don't know if I can show you, I don't want to show you too much, that's the very top of the A. So you can't see it very well on the design, but all of the letters have a backstitched fancy outline exactly as they would in that type of alphabet, except when you get right down to the very last row of letters, the Q, the one that starts QRSTU. So there's that one there, and I can't wait to do some more work on that one. Really looking forward to it. So I started that one yesterday. I finished Florence yesterday, and then I started that one yesterday as well. It was literally, right, what's next, and straight in with that. Sorry, I'm gonna have to have something to drink. I'm still on my giant mug. Oh, I didn't realise how thirsty I was. Another reason why I think I might have got oversunned or overwinded at the beach. Right, this one I've also done some work on, although I have put it aside just for the minute, because I'll show you why in a minute. So this is, I always want to put this upside down for a start. Rookie. With my needle and thread, Quaker Samplings number 3, And thanks for your input about the different colours of the, what are those things called? Acorns. The general consensus seems to be to have a go and see how a different colour of acorn looks. So most people thought that was a good thing and worth trying. So this is where I am on this. I haven't done a massive amount more, but I have done a little bit more. And the reason that I've stopped is just because that bottom border there, the bottom of the thread, just every time I seem to go near it, it wants to unravel just a little bit more. And as I said, we're going to see Mum this weekend, and she has got an overlocker. So I'm going to get her to overlock all the way around the outside before I start on that one in earnest again. And that one, the main colour thread that I'm working with there is another sulky. Do you know what? I don't think I've stitched with any other thread than sulky primarily for about 3 weeks now. 2-3 weeks now. I'm absolutely loving it. This is 1169. So I really like that. Both of those colour threads actually come in a 6-pack of sulky threads that I bought from Amazon. Now, I've said to you before about buying sulky from Amazon. It can be really, really expensive, but actually the 6-pack of the reds isn't too bad. It's about the same if you bought it from sulky as it is from Amazon if you include the postage. If you've got Prime on Amazon, then it's about the same. And if you watched Christina's video, her new video, the little sulky pack was the one that I sent her for her birthday. So Pembrose Apis, Christina, I hope you had a nice day. For all those people who are properly Welsh, I'm sorry. That was my best attempt at happy birthday in Welsh. So the other thing I wanted to mention, what a weekend for the British sampler stitchers, the British sampler reproducers. There has been some belters reproduced this week. Let me just find my book and I can give you a full rundown of what's come out this week. So Christina from Wild Irish Snaps has released 2 things. The first one is a drum, Matilda's drum, which is actually taken from a bigger sampler that she's currently in the process of reproducing. But she's also reproduced Lucy Wilson, who is Florence Piggin's mum. So if you stitched Florence Piggin, or even if you haven't, Lucy Wilson's a beautiful little sampler. It's not massive, but there's quite a bit of over one, so I can't wait to get my hands on that one. I haven't actually downloaded it yet, and I'll have bunged a picture up for you to have a look at. So I can't wait to get my hands on that one and hang them both on the wall together. Northumberland Sampler House have also released a new beautiful sampler this week called Agnes Jameson, and I'll put a picture up of her. All of these available as PDFs, so you can go and grab them straight away. And Hands Across the Sea have released another one which is absolutely stunning as well, and it's called Matilda Swallow 1820, and it's their 2021 Queen of the May sampler. So the colours on it are just beautiful. I looked at it and I was just stunned, absolutely stunned. So go and check those out if you haven't already. But sampler reproducers in the UK are just absolutely storming it at the moment. There is so much good stuff coming out. So yeah, if you haven't seen those, go and check them out. Right, that is definitely the end of everything I've got in that book, so I can put it away. Freebies. I've got 3 freebies. I thought, seeing as I was having a break next week, I better come up trumps with the freebies this week. And one of them, I think, has only come out literally in the last hour before I even went on to film this. So I'm going to start with that one, the one that's only just come out. There we go. So this is the first one, and this is the one that's only just come out, and it's called Summer, and it's by Samplers and Stitches, and the lady behind that, her name is Carol, and she's Carol X Stitch on Instagram, and that's where I found the link to her blog, which is, did I write down the name of the blog separately? Because the blog's got a slightly different name. No, I didn't write down the name of the blog separately, but it's it's more to do with Carol's name, so all the details will be down below anyway, but she is the lady behind Samplers and Stitches on Etsy, Carol X Stitch on Instagram. And that is a beautiful summer chart there. And as I said, that literally came out about an hour before I started filming. I just about had time to print it out. And then a lovely lady called Ella, who is a More Stitcher, or a More, I can't read my own writing now, a More Stitches on Instagram, messaged me and said, had I seen this one, Marion Lang? Now this has been released through Sassy Jacks, but through the Fibre Talk, and you can get this as a download from the Fibre Talk website, but only until the 21st of April, so it was only available for a week. Sorry, I keep looking to the side. I've sneakily written stuff on the back so I can give you the full story. And this is a Scottish sampler. It's Marion Lang from Glasgow, and it is a series of alphabets with some presumably family initials there. This one does come with quite a lot of information on the backstory, so you can read all about it. And the thing I thought was really, really nice about this one is that it is charted, there we go, either in NPI or Cosmo, either of which I guess you could do a conversion to DMC if you wanted to, but it's only 2 threads, it's only 2 thread colours. So I thought that if you've never stitched with NPI before, then this would be an ideal one to have a go at, because you only need to grab 2 threads, so you can have a go and see whether you like it. I've not stitched with NPI before. I've got an NPI to show you later, but yeah, I thought, ooh, that would be a really good one to have a go with the NPIs on, just those 2 lovely colours. So there's that one. And then this is the 3rd one, and it's by the Little Stitcher. Now the Little Stitcher's got a shop on Etsy, and she's released 2 new charts. One is to do with Avalon and one is to do with Labyrinth. Now I'm not really into either of them, but to go with the Labyrinth chart, she's released this little freebie of the owl. Now owls I definitely am into, so I thought that would be really nice just on its own. Don't get me wrong, I can tell the Avalon and the Labyrinth charts are really beautiful, but they're just not my bag. But that little owl, definitely. So that's three freebies for today. One of them you'll need to get onto quickly if you want to be able to get that Marion Lang one, but the others you should be okay to find. Haul. I've got a little bit of haul. I have got a little bit of haul. I'm going to start with this first one because it's sort of in the way. Now, my friend Jenny, my stitchy friend Jenny, I'll put her Instagram name down below, messaged me when I first started chattering about tiered trays, that she'd seen this tiered tray, and this was in Matalan, which is a shop in the UK, but it was out of stock online. I happened to be, for the first time in ages, I went to the local sort of bigger town, and there was a Matalan there, and I thought, well, I'll just call in on the off chance, see whether they've got any, and they had one left. And it's this sort of double layer basket. Now I've just bunged a few little smalls in there. I haven't really done much fettling or organisation really, but it's a really, really nice sized sort of tiered basket. It's in the kitchen section. So when I went in on Wednesday, I found it quite hard to find because they've got a lot of the home stuff, and the home stuff has got a lot of this black metalwork in it. So I was looking for it in the home section, and then I eventually found it in the kitchen section. So nice little handle there. It is about, it's a good size, it's probably about 30 centimetres, just over 30 centimetres long by about 15 centimetres there, so 12 inches by 6 inches, something like that. So if you're like me, need sky hooks for your cross stitch stuff already, then that is a really nice basket, and that was £12. So I was pretty happy with that. Okay, what else did I get? Let's get the basket over. I picked up one, I'll just sit and hold it. One of the releases by the Blue Flower. Now there's two releases by the Blue Flower that have got a Tudor nature to them, and this is one of them. This is the Tudor Swan. I think I'm right in saying the other one's, is it Tudor Roses? I'll put a picture of the other one up there. But I really like this one. As I said, I'm a bit into the Tudors, so I've liked this one. I've got the DMC kit of Henry VIII and all of his wives to stitch at some point, and I've also got, and I think I showed it to you, sorry, I think I showed it to you fairly recently before, the Plum Street Samplers, Elizabeth I, the End Crowneth the Work. So I'd like to make a little Tudor display. So it's that one, Tudor Swans. I'm very tempted to put that onto like a chalkboard, a very dark chalkboard, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks when I pull the colours. I also grabbed this chart by Little Robin Designs. This is called Clarissa Beaumont. Now this just absolutely flooded my Instagram a couple of days ago. I think Laura from Brenda and the Serial Starter had shown it, and a few other people had jumped on it straight away, and I just thought it was lovely. The little cat there reminded me a little bit of Mary Clayton. The sort of style of it, the outline of it reminded me a little bit of Thurza Hudson, and so I just loved it. And so that was a download as well from Little Robin Designs. I grabbed some thread from End Embroidery. Now End Embroidery are a great online shop. They have got lots of silks, lots of things like Gloriana, Avera Soie, they've got the 103s, all sorts of things. And I bought a pack of Avera Soie, which is for a specific sampler, for Hands Across the Sea samplers, for Anne Roberts. Now the reason that I'm showing you that is because I haven't actually bought the chart yet. But I was going to say I've always liked this sampler, but that's a blatant lie. I didn't like it when it first came out. I didn't like it at all. And then I found out she was a Welshie. She was a Welshie girl, and I've got a bit of a thing about Welsh samplers. I like to try and collect Welsh samplers, and to I'd love a Welsh sampler wool. And I didn't like it when it first came out at all, but when I found out she was Welsh and I sort of looked at it a bit more in detail, I really did like it. She's from North Wales, on the Clean Peninsula, I seem to remember. And the reason that I went for the Avera Soie is because I've seen a few people stitch the DMC, or start to stitch with DMC, and have said that they've not been particularly happy with the conversion. So whether that was just their own personal thing or whether I would find that too, I don't know, but I decided to treat myself to the Avera Soie, and it's so handy to be able to just order a pack and everything you need, isn't it? So of course they couldn't travel alone, even though there's like 17 of them. That's not enough of a gang. I picked out, excuse the rustling, a Threadworks thread. Now I've already opened this one because I contemplated doing my Frisian eye chart in this, and I don't know whether that's going to show up very well. It's a grey, but almost like a purpley grey. It's really nice. Now I don't know if it's a new colour or whether it was a new colour to End Embroidery, because it said new on it, so I don't know whether it's a new colour altogether or just new to them. It is 11216 is the colourway, and they do all have names, so I'll have a look at my invoice and I'll write the name along the bottom. And I said that I had bought an NPI. I've never used an NPI before, and one of the samplers that I had bought that I want to reproduce is actually a very, very dark purple. Now I'm not sure if this is going to show up terribly well. Have I got anything white to hand? I don't know whether that's gonna... No. It's a very, very dark purple. It's the darkest of the Pansy Purple range, 106. And let me just see if I can find the sampler that I'm talking about that I want to reproduce. 2 seconds. Okay, back in the room. So I bought this one when I bought one of the unfinished samplers, one of the ones that we haven't charted or started yet. And I bought it because I really liked the saying on it. It says, meekness is wisdom, grace is the cure for sin, nothing is gained by sin. And if you look at it, it's actually a very, very dark purple. And I really struggled to find a very, very dark purple in many of the ranges. And then I saw this one by Needlepoint Silk and I knew it was perfect. So really looking forward to reproducing that. I also bought some Gloriana, some Schoolhouse Red. So this is 4 yards of 12 stranded Gloriana Schoolhouse Red. And then they had another, just dropped one. All my threads seem to jump about, don't they? I'd not heard of these before, and I actually did a little bit of digging because the price on them is really good. So these are Planet Earth silks, and they were $3.50 for 14 meters, sorry, 14 yards, and they are 6-ply, so 6-ply silk. So the two colours I've got here, they are slightly different. I'm not sure they're going to show up too well different here. This one is Scarlet 1009, and this one is Red Hot 1004. And they don't look any different at all here. There probably. This one is a little bit darker. The Scarlet is a little bit darker than the Red Hot. And I'd not heard of them, and so I did a little bit of digging on YouTube. And Jan Hicks has done a video actually where she looks at the Planet Earth silks and gives you her opinion on them. So I'm quite excited to try them. I'll link the Jan Hicks video down below just in case you want to take a look at it as well. She goes through a few different types of silk, but these are included as well. So I grabbed those. I grabbed a fun piece of fabric from eBay. So this is a piece of fabric I think from the 80s. It is Williamsburg sampler collection fabric. Let's see if I can get it the right way up. So there it is. So it's got reproduced on it all these different samplers on a sort of brown background in cotton. So I grabbed it just for using for finishing. I thought I might maybe make, you know, some of them into the odd small pillow or do a bit of a, I don't know quite what I thought I was going to do with them, but I really like it, and so it'll be fun coming up with some ideas for finishing and things like that. I don't have to take the whole sampler, maybe just the alphabet or something like that to finish, or to make the band of a drum or something like that for my own drum top. So I'm very happy with that. And then the other thing I bought was another spool. Now this spool has still got cotton on it, and I bought it for a couple of reasons. I bought it because I like spools. I like spools that are empty, and I like spools with cotton on them. And one thing I wanted to show you is that a lot of people ask me about my spool that I've got my Pantini months on that I'd had made. And the reason that I'd had to have it made is because very commonly spools are much thinner in the middle, so they don't always lend themselves to wrapping needlework round, because it can't be a particularly big piece of needlework. However, I tend to find that the spools which have thread left on them actually go just a little bit cheaper than the ones that don't have any thread left on them. And what you can do is you can use that to your advantage, because you've already got a thicker base to wrap your needlework around. Now I've just taken this one off and I will show you. So here is March wrapped on there. Now this thread isn't particularly nice. I would take off the first few layers to get back to the nice clean thread. So you could do it like that, or imagine if that was a full length piece. So if my piece was just a little bit taller and took up the entirety of the spool, that would be absolutely perfect. So just to encourage you to keep an eye out on eBay for the spools which have still got thread on, not just the ones which are empty. And like I said, the outer layers of this is obviously a little bit grubby, so if I wanted to leave it with some of the thread showing, I would take off a few layers. If I wanted to cover it completely, then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's a nice wooden spool, and this one has got a metal rim to it. And that is everything for me for this week. I hope you've enjoyed, and sorry but there won't be one next week, but I shall see you in 2 weeks. Have a lovely 2 weeks everyone. Stay classy, stitchers.